God really dropped it on my heart a couple of days ago. I started writing down the things that he was telling me, and I just said, I need to do a video on this. I need to encourage somebody because it wasn't just for me. So a couple of weekends ago, I worked an event, Eagle Talk Live, and it was a great event. But here I am, a couple of weekends removed from it, and everything that happened then, I didn't realize it, or maybe I didn't just acknowledge it until I got home of how much of a blessing it was. At that event, I was around millionaires. I was around successful people. I was around people who have achieved a lot of good things through a lot of hard work. And honestly, I told my wife this. I was like, why was I even in the room? A lot of these men that was there, they achieved a lot of great success financially, career wise, and some of the language they were speaking, it just wasn't my language. It's talking about stocks and investing and, buying and owning homes and things like that. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, why am I here? Now, of course, I was hired to do something there. Of course, I was doing my job, and it was for my business. So praise the Lord for that. But I couldn't help. And if I was being real with you, when I was listening to everybody talk, I'm like, why am I here? I don't have this resume. I don't own several properties that's bringing in income. I couldn't tell you anything about the stock market. I've read some things and I still don't understand it. I don't have these cryptocurrency investments. Like, I was thinking to myself, why am I here? But that's what I was thinking then. But later on, like now that I'm removed from the weekend and it's been a couple of weeks, it just dropped on me the other day how much of a blessing it was that I was there. I'm sitting up here learning and I'm hearing and I'm able to talk to these men who've worked very hard to get their success. And now I have a different perspective. I'm like, God, thank you for allowing me to be in the room. Because at the end of the day, I was hired to do something. They didn't have to extend me to come to their homes. They didn't have to extend the information that they gave to me. And it was gems, some gems. And I'll tell you later on, the biggest or one of the best blessings that happened. But here's one of the first ones. I was able to be in a room of successful people. I was also able to be in a room with people who are like me, who are on their way to success, who are working very hard, who are kind of still figuring it out. But me just being there and hearing and meeting these people, I'm like, God, it was a blessing. And so notice my two different perspectives. While I was there, I was like, why am I here? I can't have conversations with these dudes. But now that I'm removed, I'm like, God, thank you for allowing me to be in a room because I learned so much. And what dropped on me the other day when I started writing down, and I just want to encourage anybody that's running their business or they're trying to move up the scale at their jobs. This what he literally told me. Get in the room. Get in the room. And I know it came from a place of sometimes, especially in our businesses, we only do things that have immediate reward. Well, let me say this. It's three things that comes with getting in the room. Three things that come with it. Now, these aren't like the standard. These are things just the Lord gave to me. One, you got to take a risk. You have to take a risk in order to get in the room. Now I share with you the blessing that came out of it later, or I can tell you parts of it because it's still some things that I have to talk about or keep, quiet. But you have to take the risk to get in the room, meaning that everything will not equate to making sense. So, in order to be in the room, I have to have these certain accommodations, or I have to, it has to fit right with my schedule. No, sometimes you got to make it fit in your schedule. Sometimes you got to move stuff around. Sometimes, and hear me, you got to call in to work. Sometimes you got to use your PTO because what you get in that room or what you get in this certain setting might be something that propels you to the next level. So whether you're trying to be a manager at your job, or whether you're trying to get a new client in your business, sometimes you need to pay out of your own pocket, fly to another state to be in a conference that's in your area or your field of expertise, and spend money, stay at a hotel, buy some food. You might have to do that. You might have to go to that extreme in order to get in the room. But for us and for people that I've been around, it's all about being comfortable. It's all about being comfortable. I tell you one thing that changed me when I moved. When I moved to Texas, the one thing that changed me is that I seen men and I seen women who were my age that were doing very well for themselves. And I mean above average. And so for me, guy coming out of Arkansas, a lot of people were in my circle. The goal is to make $40,000 a year. And guess what? That ain't a bad goal, because if you're making 20, 40 is good. If you're making 30, 40 is good. If you're making 35, 40 is good. So I'm not downplaying it, because I promise you 40,000 for some people can change their lives. And that's cool. Hear me when I say I'm not downplaying it. But for me, when I got out of that setting in another setting, there were people who their goals was, man, I want to make 100,000. And for me, I just didn't hang around a lot of people that was like that. No shade. Because if 40,000 is good for you, it's good for me. I'm not tripping. As long as you doing good, your family taken care of, you good, I'm not snubbing nobody. But it was just different for me. And so I would encourage anybody who's comfortable or anybody who wants more, because if you cool with the situation you in, I ain't tripping, especially if it's a good situation. But if you have a desire to have more, you have to take the risk of getting in the room. Whatever that may be, getting out of your familiar surroundings and your settings to be in the room of people who are doing better than you, who are doing more than you, and are achieving bigger goals than you have. That's if you want to achieve more. The second thing that I would say, and that the Lord gave me, is that it's going to take a lot of effort. People will switch a job in a heartbeat. And I'm saying that in a good way, especially millennials and especially women. Man, some of the friends that I had in Texas, man, if anything didn't go right, like when that raise time came around and the raise didn't look like what they wanted to look like, oh, they about to go. They about to go. But here's the thing behind the scenes that people don't see. They will put effort. They will change a resume. They will get off work and fill out apps from, the time they get off to late at night. They're going to put in max effort. They're going to fill out 8 applications a day. They are going to put in work until they get to where they want to get to. And for me, like I said, I just was not around that circle. It was like, hey, you get this job. You work much as you can, OT, whatever you get, do that for 20, 30, 40 years, save your money, and you good. And the truth is, that is good. You got to work hard. I'm not downplaying nobody that got that goal, because if it worked for you, I'm cool. If you taken care of and you happy, Whatever makes you happy, do that. But for me, when I got out of my familiar surroundings and I got around other people, it was just different. Like I know a friend, she wasn't happy with the raise that they was giving her. Man, this girl, she would look at the job description that she would like, and she literally would change her resume for every single job. And for me, I'm just looking like, bruh, that is effort. And I'm talking about filling out apps every day. She was like, dude, I'm not taking this. I'm not about to settle for this little pennies. I'm not about to get $2-3 on my raise. No, I'm about to get a $20,000 raise. And I'm telling you, she got what she wanted because she put in effort. And so one, you got to take the risk to get in the room. You got to put in effort to get in the room. Sometimes it might take you spending your last to get in the room. It might take you spending money to get in the room. See, a lot of times we gotta get on free things, or we have to get on things that are super convenient. Well, if it's in my city or if it's within here, then I'll go. But the difference, sometimes you have to go in places that you're not comfortable in to be in the room. You have to do it. And I'm saying for myself because I know how it impacted me. So this specific conference that I'm talking about, Eagle Talk, even though I was hired in, the fact of the matter is I had to put a lot of effort to get there, because previous to that week, I had several projects due. And I'm not talking about one or two. I had like 3 or 4. And they were due later on, but I was like, man, I need to be focused on this conference. I cannot be thinking about what I got to do when I get home. I can't be trying to work while I'm there on stuff that's not due till weeks later. I was like, I need to, before this weekend comes, I need to get these projects done and I need to get them completed. Because for me, customer approval means that it's complete. And so when I send a video, when I edit a project, when I shoot it, I edit, it's not done until the customer say, I like it, because that goes with your brand. And if they say they don't like it, then, it's time to do some things to satisfy them. And so I wanted that satisfaction of, I'm going to this conference just to work this conference. But I also was going because I knew it was going to be some gems in there. I knew by me being around these men and women who have achieved great success in real estate and investments and motivational speaking, like, they've achieved these things by working very hard. So even though I'm getting paid, the value is in me being in the room with these people. So 1, you got to take the risk. 2, you got to put in effort. And here's the third thing that you got to know is that by doing everything to get in the room, your return is not always going to equate to money. Your return is not always going to equate to getting paid when you do everything to be in the room. And I know that's hard because my family depends on me to pay all these bills. And I love the fact that I can do it. Why? Because my wife can do what she loves. She can do what she's passionate about, which is help people with their health and juicing. It makes me feel good that she can do that and I can take care of our home. And so me doing things for free is not an option. It's not an option for me to spend, 10 hours shooting a wedding and then spend, another 25 hours to edit and do all this process for free. I got a family I got to take care of. But when the gems are there, when the opportunity is there, when God drops it on your heart and says, you need to be in this room no matter what, sometimes You might have to do this thing and not get paid because the value that's in the room is going to make you more money than what you would have got there. And I know it sounds crazy because I'm telling you, man, I don't work for free. I haven't worked a free gig in a long time. I haven't worked a free event in a long time. But I'm going to tell you, man, I've done some things for free just because I knew who was going to be in the room. Just because I knew who I was going to be around. Just because I knew who could possibly affect me in a good way. Who could possibly change the way I think. Who could possibly say, hey, Glennis, you doing this wrong. Maybe you want to try do this. Who could possibly say, hey, yeah, I know a guy. How about you give him a call? Who possibly could hear that I do videos or I do marketing or I do social media promos, and they say, man, I need somebody to do that. See, the effort and the risk and not necessarily going to get paid all could equate to so much value that when you leave the room, your mind has changed, you got more opportunity, and you possibly shook hands with somebody that you would have never shook hands with before. And so I'm going to end this because by me being in the room amongst these successful people who love the Lord, I was able to get a client. And even when I was talking to him yesterday, I was just like, bro, how did I get in the room? How did he become my client? I literally started thanking God because how did I randomly meet this guy who, and I'm gonna ask him, if I can name drop and all that stuff. But it's like, I told my wife when we was eating down, because she was at the event with me, I was like, I don't know what could happen by me knowing this man. I don't know who he could talk to by me knowing this man. I don't know what can happen out of me being at this event, being in the room amongst these people. I don't know what can happen for my business. I don't know what can happen for my career. But the fact of the matter is something good came out of it because I was in the room. I remember when the planning for the Eagle Talk Live started, and we was talking, and initially, because Corey and Rosemary, we've become friends. And they say I'm like their cousin now. And I like, those are my people. And they're very successful, not just in what they do in real estate, but in their marriage, in their family, in the way that that they help others. And so it's beyond just them being a successful in real estate. Man, they're just successful in general. And I don't know every single bit of what goes on in their home, but one thing I know is they genuinely want to help people. They are givers. And they just don't keep everything that they do for the success that they have. They just don't keep it to themselves. They freely give. Now, they don't give for free. I'm not saying they're doing stuff for free. I'm saying they give more effort than what is asked. And that's always been my motto. My entire life, I've done things to just be in the room, even if it costs me. So in this event, they didn't ask me to do anything. They was just asking for tips. And they were saying some things and stuff. And I said, forget it. I'll do it. I drive down there. I'll come. Because I genuinely in my heart knew that was an area of my expertise. And I knew they needed help. And I wanted to be in the room. I wanted to be in the room. I wanted to see how successful people think, how their day is, what goes on, how they plan it out. I want to be in the room. Now, they're very kind people. They definitely compensated me. Thank you. So that was a blessing. But the bigger blessing is I got to be in the room with people that I never thought I would be around. And I got a client who knows people, and I don't know what can happen because I genuinely, it don't matter if you paying me $100 or $5,000. My effort is the same. I'm not going to do a busted video. I'm not going to do a busted podcast. I'm not going to half do anything off what I get paid because I genuinely enjoy what I do. And so you're going to get 100% from me regardless. And so when I was talking to this guy, I was like, I want to help you tell your story. Because when I was listening to him talk, I related to him so much. My man was talking about, before he got his success or before he got to a certain level, how he was busting it all day at his 9 to 5 and then getting off and working on his business. But his business and all the efforts that he was putting in that would take so long that it would just run him back to going back to work. Clock around, putting in work. And I'm listening to this man. I'm like, man, that's me. That's me right now. I'm busting my 9 to 5. And when I get off, I got to attend to my family with my son and my wife. But, as soon as I get to a point to where I get a little freedom or where I get a little free, I'm on this laptop. I'm editing. I'm asking people. I'm reaching out. I'm putting in work. And because he grabbed me so much, we was able to have a conversation. And then he asked me for my number. And here I am. This is 2 weekends. It was 2 weekends ago. And I'm just now realizing how good God is. It's like, man, this is crazy. I'm in the room amongst successful people who are freely giving knowledge, gems, helpful tips. And on top of that, they extend their hand. Hey, Glennis, call me if you need me. If you want to know about this, if you want to get into this, I show you. I just want to encourage my small business owners, my people who are at that job and they really want to move on up. Man, do everything to get in the room. You might have to spend money. You might have to lose some sleep. You might have to lose the convenience of your schedule to be in the room. There are no guarantees in life. So please don't take this as if I do this, then it's guaranteed. Nah, that ain't my thing. That ain't what I'm doing. There's no guarantees in life. But what I can say is that if you work hard, this is one guarantee I can make. That if you work hard and you do everything you can to be in the room, not looking for rewards, not looking for incentives, not looking for you to get patronized or rewarded because you put in effort to be in the room. But if you work hard and you put in effort, take the risk, and realize that your return isn't always money or getting paid, something will happen. Something good will come of that. I can guarantee that. Whether it's you getting another connection, whether it's you getting to shake a hand, whether it's you getting to be around people and see how they think and do things. So it changed your mind when you go back home and say, okay, I need to do this differently. Just being in the room outside of your comfort zone will always lead to good things. And I believe that God rewards hard work. I believe that God will not just let you just work hard and not reward you for it. And when I say reward, it's already in His promise. Proverbs 16:3 is my favorite verse. Commit your works to the Lord and He will establish it. A lot of different versions say He'll order your steps. He'll show you the way. Commit your works to the Lord and He will establish it. Faith without work is dead. It's impossible to please God without faith. All that stuff, you can have faith, but you got to put in work. Get in the room because it'd be beneficial for you. That's all I got. And I'll see you next time.